Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Romano. In today's video, I wanted to answer the question, how are you going to take advantage of this great change that's happening? The real estate market, as we know it, is coming down, and it's going to basically kind of fizzle out. But of course, eventually it will come back, but that could take 5 years, 6 years, maybe even longer. Over the next 5 years, you have to think about, well, how are you going to make money? And this is what we're going to talk about in this video. But before we continue the video, please remember to do thumbs up, press the button, it's right there, and subscribe. It's right there, that button, and all you have to do is press it. You're going to get my future videos anyway because the algorithm, that's how it works once you click on my profile. But if you subscribe, that will really help me out. Thank you so much. As you know, I talk about market cycles. And when you go to school, when you study finance and the economy, you realize that everything is a cycle, basically. And that's just how it is. And as an investor, you need to know these cycles because they're very, very important. Because what if you start to invest in a project at the end of the cycle? Well, you will lose everything that you have and everything you put up for that investment. So this is why you need to be very studious on when to invest and when not to, and when to invest in certain other industries. So as we know, the gold prices are extremely high, and the gold prices dictate a lot. They tell you a lot about the market condition. Now, yes, there are governments around the world buying up a lot of gold because if they do create their own cryptocurrency, they're going to back it by gold because they want people to be a part of that industry to make it more lucrative. And then, of course, the other countries are going to have to follow as well. So this is an issue that's happening. So that could be also a reason why gold has been so high. But gold keeps peaking. And when it keeps peaking, it's going to take a while before the gold prices go down. In order for the gold prices to go down, the markets need to stabilize. And I'm not just talking about the stock market. I'm talking about the real estate market. As it unravels, because it has hit its peak in 2022, of course, it's not going to go any higher for a long time. Because of interest rates, they have to go up. This is not inflation. In this situation, this is the Treasury market. The Treasury market has to raise capital. So how do you force investors to buy that asset? You raise the interest rates. So it's actually more ethical and logical to invest in a treasury making, let's say, 7-8%, because you're not going to see that in the real estate market for a while. Those smart developers out there, they've pulled back on developing right now any new projects because they won't get that high amount of money for those condos and for those houses. Of course, they only make 30% profits. Out of that 30%, they have to pay the real estate broker, they have to pay all this other employees, expenses, etc. With that 30%, if they only make 10%, and so you have to position yourself, well, how do you take advantage of the next cycle? What is that next cycle? Well, in a lot of my videos, I talk about the manufacturing sector. And the manufacturing sector is a huge market because when you make one product, it's not just one company that's making that product, it's hundreds of different companies. For example, wool rugs. You have the sheep farm, okay, making the sheep and growing the sheep, then they cut the wool to make wool, then it gets sent to the yarn company to actually make yarn out of it, and etc. And then you have the person that actually sells that. And then you have the actual company that sells the products to the rug company to make those rugs. Then you have the company that sells the rugs. And then you have, and it's just a huge, and the company that actually makes the equipment for the rug machine and all the little products and the supplies that they need. So from just one product to make our carpet, There's hundreds of different companies that's supplying just that one type of product. What about ceramics, etc.? Today we use 3D printers for more sophisticated manufacturers to make ceramic cups or to make ceramic parts for different machinery, etc. So another industry, and the list goes on and on and on. So once the industry is brought back because of higher tariffs that are going to have to be placed, and they have to put higher tariffs because raising taxes is not going to help pay off the deficit. And they're going to have to cut back. So you're going to see huge change that happens. And this is normal. Everything has to come to an end, but it restarts a new industry. So get away from holding your real estate investments if you do have a 70% mortgage, because it becomes very risky to hold that asset if you can't rent it out or if you can't sell it for a profit. And that's why, and of course, your capital is going to be invested in an industry in the real estate sector where you may not see a profit for 8 to 10 years even if interest rates have to stay so high. So a lot's going to happen. Secondly, if we do have a situation that occurs in Asia, this could also affect our markets and also the value of the dollar. So these are all things that you have to think about. If the dollar does decrease, because they do have to print more money to pay the Treasury Market, well, it's going to be a lot more expensive to buy products. That's why you can take advantage of making the products here. Secondly, vegetables. They're high right now not because of inflation. It's because farmers are producing ethanol. That's the reason why vegetables are so high. But you could take advantage of that market as well. You have to learn about aquaponics and using the fish water to circulate the roots of the vegetables to give nutrients. And again, you're recycling, and so you're saving money on of course, pesticides, on fertilizers, etc. And you don't need thousands of acres to do aquaponics. You need a little warehouse that's super high, and you create levels that goes up and up and up. It's something for you to think about. There is a company that started 10 years ago, and they're worth over $1 billion selling lettuce. Now, of course, you don't have to only sell lettuce. You could do other vegetables. But the point is that there's a market for everything right now. And if you analyze this, you will realize that. So if you have a lot of capital, don't invest in the real estate market right now. And I highly recommend be really careful what you invest in. The future and the next 10, 20-year cycle is the manufacturing cycle. Just like what happened during the 50s. You've seen a major boom in the 50s and 60s in the US. And there's a lot of people that benefit from that cycle because it's not just the people that are making that one product or two products. It's the supply chain that everyone makes money. The mechanics that fix the equipment, that builds the warehouse. That's why right now cement and steel is high, because they're building warehouses in America and of course infrastructure. Again, you have to rethink what your position is, and I highly recommend that you don't buy actual stocks right now. You are not equipped to understand what this change is happening. It's better off to stay away from the stock market if you're the type of investor that's holding on to these assets for the long term, because remember, a lot of companies may have to reduce their exposure and reduce their businesses, such as Walmart, Target, Amazon, you name it. If they're not buying the products from Asia for cheap, well, how are they going to fill their shelves? Again, a huge change is happening right now, and it's a truth and it's a fact that companies are now having to reduce the bonuses that they give their employees and the salaries. So this is the beginning of a huge change. Again, big retail chains are reducing the amount of stores that they have in the US. They're closing them down, even in some states completely. This is what you could take advantage of. And you don't need a huge team to do manufacturing. You need a warehouse, 1 or 2 products to take advantage of, and it's up to you what you have a passion to evaluate how that product is, make it better, use better quality, and make it here. You could sell it on Amazon, etc. So you don't need a big sales team. I want to thank you so much for watching my update. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, do thumbs up. It's right there. It doesn't hurt to press that button, but it will really help me out. Thank you so much.